Welcome back to Captain of Industry. My name is Nilaus and I will be your captain on this journey from stranding on a desolate island into transforming it into a logistical paradise. Update 1 was just released and it's a massive update with too many, that touches basically every part of the game and too many changes just to go through them all here. But it makes the game just new and fresh and a lot of just both quality of life and also balance changes and well as graphic changes. So lots and lots of interesting things to dive into. So what can you expect from the series? You can expect a full walkthrough from start to finish. Each episode will have a specific objective so that each episode can be used as a standalone tutorial for every topic. I hope that you are as hyped about this as I am. If you are just a little bit as hyped as I am, then be sure to share that enthusiasm by liking, sharing and subscribing. This is particularly important as this is the first of a hopefully long and successful series. If you want to see more than just a single episode, well, come on over to Twitch, on twitch.tv/Nilaus. I'm streaming this game quite often right now, and I even have Steam keys to give away, thanks to Mafia Games for providing those. So come on over and you can win a key. So we're going to get started on the game, and I asked my community which one, and they voted, and the Kurlan map was chosen. I know this one is a new map, but I also know that other people are playing it. I like this one because it's actually gigantically big. It doesn't look so, but it's really big. And it has nice big space for what exactly we need. Then we're going to go over here, and we're going to play it on captain mode, and this is the game sheet. It's also going to be in the description if you want to play on exactly the same settings as I do, and I would recommend it. Also, a note is that if you just don't want to, I'll be maybe making some of the blueprints available depending on when I think something is completed and finished and done. But if you're a patron supporter of the channel, then thank you very much. You can also always get this save game, so you can just load up the game and look at the designs I have here. Well, let's continue diving in. Enable tutorial goes, this is really recommended. It is surprisingly good. Now, I would say that I am the tutorial, but I would also say that this is probably the best tutorial I've seen in game. It just really helps you on doing the right things in the right order, almost always. So let's dive into the game and see what we can do and get as efficient a start as possible. All right, we are into the game, and this is how we start. It looks beautiful, and one of the things you will hopefully immediately notice is how much better the water looks. It didn't look bad before, but it looks absolutely amazing now. And if you are unfamiliar with Captain Industry, well, it's a logistics game. Well, you can say like Victorio Satisfactory, but this one has a more sort of realistic, more authentic, more sort of scrapped industrial look to it than any of the other ones. They're a lot less sci-fi. Now you will maybe get into a little bit of sci-fi, actually not so much, and definitely no magic. So this is where we are. If we're just going to start navigating here, press the L key to look at the layers. What do we have? We have water, we have copper. Yes, copper is blue and iron is red. You should learn some things, Factorio. That's very well, because this is of course some kind of iron oxide, which is orange, and this is some kind of copper oxide, which is, or iron. I don't know. I don't want to get into that one. We have our little city here where we can, our people work, and we have our trucks that will do the heavy lifting for us immediately. So the first thing we want to do is get started on getting some trees out of the way. Let's get these trees out of the way. That should immediately start getting this vehicle over. There, we start with the very basics, and you can see up here, make a coal maker connected to a smokestack, assign 2 trucks, and there, and then I'll assign 2 trucks. There we go. And then we'll start making this stuff. We'll just basically continue on these coal makers, because these tutorials, because they are just so damn good. They're so good at connecting us to the right things at the right time. Where do we want to make it? I want to make it just sort of all the way over here. And this coal maker will just give us a little bit of coal to begin with. And it'll just allow us to get going on what we need in the beginning. So that will be a coal maker. We'll eventually make it into a box. This one is full of wood. That's good. And then we can start working on the next part, which is somewhere over here. I would also like to build. Okay, so first I'm going to do some design work that will hopefully make sense later on. I'll be using this here, and then I'm going to mark this location out. Why? Nothing is going to happen at this location. So this is just an indicator for me that this path is, you could say it's the sacred path. You could very much say that's the case. This one I'm not allowed to build on. And because I want to make sure that we have one track that goes through all of this, and it'll also go up here, and it'll be nice. So that means we need to build something else over here. And that actually kind of reminds me that I would actually like to take this out first, even though it's a little bit further away from that. But I need to take this out because I want to make sure that we can build a nice iron facility over at this location. I think I can just build it over here to get it started. So when it comes to designing things, then let's go. We don't have that yet, so we're going to have to go on a little pause, and we need to start making iron. That's kind of the first thing we want to get, and I want to make it iron over here by obviously the iron mine, even though the first thing we get is we have this abandoned communication station, which is just giving us some scrap to get started, 944 iron scraps and some bricks. That's going to be super handy. Plus, of course, also there's some resources here from our crashed ship. We need to repair the ship, but that's going to be much later on. Maybe in episode 3, I think, would be the right name, right time. And here I'm now going to build something. And here's super important that I build it the right way. There. And I want to make room for 4 of these, but definitely don't want to make 4 of them yet. So this is the blast furnace. It takes iron scraps inbound and some coal, and then gets it there. The coal we get from the coal maker, and the scrap we get from the communication station. And then I just need to figure out where the next one's going to be. I think that's a good place. And if you look at ratios, this one is producing 24 every minute, and this one is consuming 12 plus 12, also 24 every minute. We have the first kind of belts, that's the molten canal, and we just hook it up here. Then we also just show how awesome it is, copy and freaking paste, and it's done. It is just done. Isn't that awesome? These are set to there. Now they get built, and what we're missing is we need some, that one and that one, and they also need to be built here. There, good. That will get us done with the iron part, and I don't need to do anything else. I don't have any more options. What we also need to do in the beginning is get a science lab. Science lab is a building, and we want to just get it. We want to get it like right down here. I just want to make sure that it's not really in the way of anything else reasonable. There we go. And this one also, I'm stuck in a planning mode. That's kind of, I guess that's a save state thing. Doesn't matter. We'll just get these, and we can go into the research. We have the blast furnace, we have the metal caster, with the smokestack. We are producing iron. Now we need the research lab. Great, and then I can start looking at the research when all of those things get done. And look at this wonderful thing. We have a little bit of iron being produced now. That is a good basic start. We got the iron going, and we also built our research lab. It is now time to get into here to research. And we're just going to queue up some things. We want some farming so we can have something to eat for our poor people. They have been going hungry for well, they have some food, but 46 months, we need to get that going. We need construction. This is the most important thing in the game, construction parts. We need those for constructing things. Then after that, we'd like to get a trading dock so we can trade with other settlements around the sort of the neighboring islands. We want vehicles and mining, and we want power and maintenance. Then we also want this with tooling, because this gives us the copy paste and sort of other tools that are kind of nice. This is a new change that they put it in here. And the great thing is, every time you get an objective completed, you get a little bonus here, construction parts and diesel. Very, very nice things. Thank you very much. Oh, man, I love that part. It's so well done. Like there's an incentive to it, not just getting it off the screen, but it's just working so well. We already have the next parts ready. We now have farming available, and I'm going to make the farms here. Let's see. This should be the right place. Put it down there, and I will put another one here, and I'll put another one there. Good. And I'll enable these two, and they will just be making potatoes. That'll be way more potatoes than we need. Tree harvester has nothing left to harvest. That's good. Then you can go harvest this part, and maybe where else we basically want to just clean out this area so we have a little bit of space. But I also wanted to get some space around my iron mine, and we'll also get. Let's see if we look at our overlay. Actually, oops. Oh, no, there we go. I actually think I want my harvesting of trees to be up here. That's most important. More important than this, I think. So let's look at our objectives. We are waiting for the first harvest of potatoes. That's coming in eventually. This is a complicated world to look at, but we can dive in a little bit into this. Basically, at this point, you can only plant potatoes, and they need some water. They will get water from the rain. That's convenient. And they have some fertility. The fertility will gradually decline if you keep harvesting or keep planting the same thing over and over and over. It's not going to be an issue right now in the beginning, but you really want to have some kind of crop rotation going. And this one, in 3 months, we'll get 58 potatoes. Woohoo! Loads of potatoes. There we go. And we get food production going. That was the first one there. Now, we also want to just get this one. Designate a dumping zone. So we need somewhere to dump our excess materials that we get from the waste here. We have waste collection. We need to make sure that that doesn't get filled up. So we need to drop it off somewhere. And where do I want to make it? I think I want to make it over here. Just, it's not really important at all where I put it, but I'm gonna fill in this one, of course, because of course I am. So why not get started immediately? There we go. That should be a dumping zone, and then it'll be dumping some waste whenever it gets around to it. That will also get us something. So we have 34 construction parts. So it's extremely important that we get up here and then we make the first thing, because now we have researched assembly. That's what we want to make. And I want to make sure that it's, let's see, I want to get it up here. Now, where do I want this? I want it, I always place these kind of the same way, and I think that's important. It's going to be the same way for me always, and until I find a better way. There we go. We're going to build this, rush build it, and we will be building for construction parts. There, for the waste dumping, I got some bricks. That's nice, and construction parts. Those are the most difficult things to get. And now we are going to need iron. We got that. Wood. We got that. Bricks, we don't have it, but we do have it. We have 580, so that should be good for now. That's a good start. So that will get us the first thing. What we also need to do is potentially at least get some of the other parts, like vehicle parts and other things, built up here, but I'm not going to get into that just yet. We got the trading dock. Trading dock is another super important thing, and it allows us to, you guessed it, trade with other entities. We're going to place it here. I don't recall that it used to be able to be built so close. Ooh, we got the construction parts done. Look at how quickly we just rush through these locations. That is absolutely amazing. We got a little bit further. I actually had to move my first assembler. It was not at the position I wanted it at, so I had to move it. That's okay. What we're going to do though is we now have run out of research, so we go into the next bricks foundation. Let's get that one, and that beacon allows us to attract more people. The bricks production is super important, and basic diesel as well. That's not something, actually don't go for the basic diesel right now. This is basically as far as we go for the first episode, is my intention at least, and then we'll have a go at it. So we are storing some wood here. And when we store some wood, we can also go here and click. So this is the world map, and I hope that it'll be cleaned up at some point. It works, but it's, So here we can see that we have in the other settlement, we've noticed we can get people by paying some unity. It's basically sort of a generic meta resource here. And we can also do the wood. If we had 20 wood, we could exchange that to more bricks. That's something you would want to do in the beginning, because wood is easy to get, but bricks is a little bit more difficult, and you have a very finite resource. So that is what we want to do. We can then do some more things. We're waiting for the wood to get stockpiled, but it probably won't be getting there as fast as we'd like. Therefore, just getting it. Let's build that down here. Actually, let's build it up here, because that's kind of going to be close to our future bus, and this is the road. So let's put the vehicle depot up here by the road. That makes sense. This one gets built, and we can just do this. Unity build it. I love the way when you can Unity build things. That just means instead of fighting it over, then as long as you have it in store somewhere, then you can just instantly build it without having trucks go back and forth. They were coming in. Oh, those poor little buggers. I'm gonna get one of these first, and then we're gonna get 2 of those, and then we get started on some miners as well. That's a lot of things we don't have, so I think when we get this trading dock or this wood in storage, then we'll get the next one. Now, we also have power and maintenance. We actually have a little bit of power consumption that is from a storage. They consume a little bit of power. That's a little annoying, but I think that's it's a balancing thing. So we do need to produce some power. It still works, but it's just that if there's power, it'll consume the power. We don't really need it right now. If we look at the maintenance depot, that is way too important, but that requires real power. And that is something we need, because all our vehicles are sort of degrading on maintenance, and maintenance it's going to be maintenance or diesel that will kill you in a series like this. Tree harvester has nothing to harvest. That's great. Let's give you some more things to harvest like that. And also just continue to clean out this part. Excellent. We are also kind of running out of resource of workers, so we're going to need to get more. When the beacon comes in, we can get more of those. Let's see what the first thing is. Is the vehicle depot the first and most important thing? It's going to be a big drain on resources. So I think I'd actually want to get more resources in first. And by doing that, I will first expand our city. I'll be expanding it into sort of a 3x3 grid and leaving a space open in the middle for later on when we have something there. These bricks are just not stockpiling, and I think that if and when we get the first of those trucks, where is the truck? That truck does not have any vehicles assigned. I'm just going to give you one vehicle each. I don't want to waste so many vehicles on that. And now we get the beacon. So I will build the beacon. That's one of the most important things that we get. This is the only way to get more people in here. Well, the main way to get people in here. So we build a beacon down here. This will allow us to sort of, summon people in every 3, 6, 8 months or something, which is going to be super handy. Now, all we also need to build is we need to build our maintenance depot, and I'm going to build it up here. Inputs on this side. There we go. And we can, this is blue, so it's going to build. These two are gray, so they're not going to get built. They are just paused here for build. And what we need to do is we need to make a diesel generator and another manual assembly making mechanical parts. That will be there into that. So I think we'll need... I need to figure out which ones are going to be... let's take this one and make into mechanical parts, and then this can be made into vehicle parts, I guess. If we look at our trading depot, then we can go here and we can see that we can trade. We have 158, 178, and we can then trade here. And then if you trade again, you can see it goes up here, and then that means it's a little more expensive than it should be. And that means you probably can't get it, but you get it instantly in here. And that's something I would highly recommend getting all the way, is just keep changing your wood into bricks in the beginning. Let it drop down as much as you can afford, and then trade. So if you can drop it down all the way to 20, then trade 2 times, then it jumps up, then wait a bit, wait some months, and then you can trade again. Up here, we are going to get, these are the things we want to get. We want to get mechanical parts, we want to get electronics, we want to get vehicle parts, and we want to get the construction parts. That's really important. And I actually think I want one more of these, and that will be here, because construction parts, I mean, that's the most important thing. Here we get 40 construction parts for doing that. Now it's really about, we got the beacon done, but it doesn't work without power. A diesel generator, it's all about the diesel generators now. So we need to get a little bit of diesel generator. I'm just gonna jam it in here. It's gonna be super irrelevant, and build it. I can't quick deliver it. I have 311 diesel. That's it. Once I run out of that, I'm in trouble. So I wanted to sort of wait a little bit until this one's got in here. The trucks will come in here and take some fuel when they need it, but that's gonna be it. They go in here. We are also, iron scraps is not looking so hot, so we need to get that going again. This is kind of the bigger issue with everything, is that how much it's just how stressful it actually is to get everything because you're running out of things. You don't have iron, so you need to set up an iron production. You don't have brick production, so you need to set up brick production before running out. You don't have diesel, so you need to set up before you get diesel. You don't have copper, so we need to do it before we run out of copper. And that's the most difficult part in the beginning of the game, is just trying to figure out what is the next thing you must do in order to sort of progress with the game. And right now, its power, even though it's going to be consuming a little bit of our... Why are you not? Okay, you're just not really getting it. There we go. So now we're producing electricity. The beacon is working. It'll get 14 refugees in every 3 months. That is great. And we've also expanded our city, so now we can have up to 210, and we have currently 92. But we only have 10 workers available, and that means we can't really expand so much more. We're going to be continuing this, make one with mechanical parts. That means this is the one that needs to be activated. And I also think that I need to activate another one of these because I really need to keep this going. They really want us to get started on brick. Well, I want us to get started on brick production very soon. That's super important. But that's kind of... We're getting basic diesel now. Let's look at anything else. We are going to just take all these other things in here. Copper refinement, ship dock repairs, synthetic rubber. We're not going to build those anytime soon. But we might as well get all these researches done. There, that's all the research we can get done right now. And we'll just continue letting this one complete. We got the beacon. The beacon is completed, and we get some potatoes and some vehicle parts. Nice for the vehicle parts. And we also got the maintenance done just like that, because we got this one done with the mechanical parts. Done. Perfect. Things are progressing. Enable iron recipe. So now we have new things. Diesel production. We're gonna wait on diesel production. It might be nice to get it, but I think that's a great thing to save for next episode, getting diesel and copper in the next episode. But iron mining is definitely a thing. So that's going to be iron mining. That's a mind control tower, or not. And iron recipe here in the blast furnace. So we can get those two. Those will be the ones. And then I really, really, really need the brick production. I'm feeling so bad about not having bricks here. But I guess we're not going to get bricks until we get dirt. And we can't get dirt until we have some mining things. So we're going to start working on the iron mine over here. It's going to be as simple as we can make it. We're going to get a mine control tower. And we'll just make it somewhere in here, so it's not too much in the way of everything else. That will be built. I'll just switch it out of this build mode. And I'm going to get my one vehicle over, and I'm going to get 2 of those vehicles over. And it doesn't have an area yet, but we'll get it. We'll just get like this area. That's your area. Perfect. And then I'm going to go tell you what to do. What I'm going to do is I'm simply leveling to begin. To begin with, I just want to level all of this area. And then maybe not this area. There. Good. So what is needed is you build a mine control tower. You set an area. You mark an area for mining designation. You assign at least 1 excavator and some pickups. Then we can also put a storage. Nope. Well, we can put a storage soon-ish nearby. Ooh, new refugees. Perfect. And we are now going to continue the production up here. Did we get? Yes. But we're probably going to run out of vehicle... Well, we are going to run out of vehicle parts. We are getting iron mining. That was brilliantly fast. We got that. And then also, now that we are getting the iron mining, they're not going to go anywhere because no one is requesting the iron. So we can go in here and enable that recipe and enable that recipe. And then we will be processing iron ore and then completing the next one. Nice. Build unit stockpile for iron and construction parts. That's the next part. This also means this is important. I really need this taken out so I can build my stockpiles. Now I have 2 locations building construction parts, which is obviously going to be running me out of business very soon. It's funny how this has little things next to it. Oh, because it did get started to be built. Ah, there we go. It got started to be built here. I'm just going to turn down. It's a little bit too fast for me. And we're going to start on the brickworks as well. This is... Yeah, it has to be done. Brickworks is a relatively new thing. And it makes bricks instead of getting started on concrete. So you can make bricks, and bricks go in here to become part of it. And bricks are supposedly easier. Oops, that was incorrectly placed. No, get it out. Get it out. It's incorrectly placed. Oops, I'll just hurry up and remove it so before anyone notices. It is obviously like that. So this brickworks is going to take coal. We have a little bit of that. It's going to take water. We don't have that, but we'd like to get it. And it's going to take dirt. We don't have any of that. So yeah, that's so much for making it a little bit easier. But that's something, and this will produce 12 bricks, which is enough to feed 6 plus 6. So the ratio is 1 to 2 for now. it'll be 1-to-1 later on, but we'll get this working. And whenever you see the wood is high, that's a good time to go over and trade one more. We can only trade one. I'm gonna just trade 2 until it gets up to 31. So that gets us a little bit further and extends our duration until we completely run out of bricks. Because this one is not going to work, even though it looks like it's working, because we don't have dirt, we don't have coal. We do have a little bit of coal, but don't have water. And we got done with the ore processing, the iron ore processing. We can now collect the rewards, 40 diesel and 40 vehicle parts. 40 vehicle parts is absolutely amazing because we're just struggling to get vehicle parts, because right now we're scaling up our fleet. Boom, like that. We get another digger, and this digger is going to be located over here. Well, this is a weird place, right? But it's important. This will be selecting, well, I'm gonna get a little bit different area, but like kind of like this. I'll get one, I'll get that one, and I'll get that one. And it doesn't have anything to be done. Well, that is coming by doing this part. There. So I'm just leveling this terrain. Why? Well, first of all, it's nice to have level terrain. That's a reason in and of itself. Oops. The other reason is that I'm going to need to get some stone or some dirt, and the dirt is going in here. That's the one thing that I don't have. I might get a little bit from the mining over here. There's some dirt here and there, and then they will bring it in here. But this is a dedicated dirt mining operation, and it'll serve to level out a little bump on the road here. So that's another little thing that's important. That will get us the brickworks. Let's have a look. Oil. I'm still going to wait a little bit on oil, and I might be regretting it. I probably will. So when the whole thing comes crashing down because I neglected diesel, even though the tutorial told me to, then, well, at least I knew there was coming. What we need to do is make unit storage for construction parts and iron. And I'm going to go look at this part and think that I'm going to... And look at this. Oh, look at how beautiful it is. I'm just going to go to planning mode so it doesn't get stuck. Oh, that's so good. So good. So good. There. This does not get built because it's gray. I'm in planning mode, but it does allow me to get a sense of where do I want to put the inputs and output boxes. So that input output box is here. That will get built. Blue means built, and then I'll make some iron box here. I also am being asked to make an iron box up to here for construction parts, but I'm going to do it for not just construction parts, but I'm going to do it for everything. And here it's very important how I do it. I do it 3 from the top, and I do it with that first one right aligned there. That is super important. And why it's super important? Well, because it has to be consistent, because you know me. Things have to be consistent, and it's going to look good, and maybe you'll look at other YouTubers doing it different, and this hopefully will make you go, ah, that's nice straight line. That's what I call aesthetics. And it also just makes it easier to read what's going on. And we're just going to make one of these boxes for each and everything that we want. And also for bricks as well. And then it gets easier to go there. And you are going to not do construction parts, but actually do bricks. Great. So bricks is still missing a lot of things. I'd like to get the bricks up and running, but I'm not sure it's a good idea to get bricks up and running before we get oil up and running. I'm also clearing out this part of the forest because I am going to make one of my absolute favorite things that I always forget how good it is. This thing. This is a rain collector, and they only cost. They cost a little bit of construction part, but they cost mainly wood. So wood is dirt cheap. So we're gonna make 4 of these because they basically just, hey, it's free water. We don't have to dig it out of the ground. We don't have to do anything. It's just free water, and I like free water. And then I'm gonna make a little box here. This will be a box for water. I call it a box. It is not really a box. And we can then do T for transports, and then drag it in here. Later on, we'll also add it to the other side. This is a little bit of a build project. So that will get us water supplies. Now it does say here with our brick production, research brick production, build the brickworks, 1, connected to a rainwater harvester. I got 1, using a pipe. Oh no, that means I have to drag pipes up. Oh, this one is tough. store 20 construction parts. That is almost impossible for me to do because I have a little bit of a tendency to overbuild everything all the time. And that's kind of detrimental to this. New refugees, we are getting closer. You have to make sure that you do not go over your capacity. And so now I also want to drag a pipe, and look at this. We are going to look at the new cool feature for piping. Up, up, up. Look at that. It's straight up. Cool. And I'm going to drag it up all the way to the other one. So I feel we've cheated a little bit because I actually got this one, the brick production, done before, just by hooking up a ghost pipe to this one. Then we actually got it. But hey, it's all good. And we also got the stockpile because we're actually now stockpiling a little bit of construction parts. That's great. And what does that leave us? That leaves us with diesel and copper production. That's what I said. That's going to be where we are going to wrap up the first episode, because I think this is what you'd want to achieve. And just for reference, this took about like 40 minutes for me. So this is kind of, I would say, a really good start. We have iron production. It's somewhat automated. We have just our start of our little production row here. We got the bricks production going, not well, but you know, it's going well. We have food production, just potatoes. We have a little city. It's not overbuilt. It's up to 210. I have paused my beacon because then I don't get any more. We have water production, or well, production, but water collection, and we bring it up to our bricks production. We have some vehicles. I actually have built a few vehicles in advance. What we're going to do in the next episode is we're going to be tapping this oil deposit, and that means we get oil, we get diesel, and you can see what's next on the list because it says diesel production and copper production. Those will definitely be it, and I also need to set up coal mining as well to get that going. Plus, I'm sure a ton of other things. So at this point, thank you very much for following this episode, and I hope you found it useful in order to get a good start and just a really balanced start. Don't overbuild, don't underbuild, and just get ready for the next stage. As you can see, we still have a little bit of diesel left, so that's good. So we should have time to get the diesel production up and running before the whole thing comes crashing down. But then again, you would expect that sometimes we do have a little bit of brownouts once in a while. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you do, be sure to hit the like button. It means a lot to me, especially on the first episode, because that's where the whole traction thing comes in, and the YouTube algorithm, all that stuff. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care and stay effective.